lot of things have been happening in India's eastern neighborhood. For instance, Myanmar is going through a troubled, painful transition. Bangladesh is also going through a lot of troubled transition. Uh, you have been keeping track of these events, writing about them extensively, and also speaking about them. If you look at the past 1 year or 1.5 years, what was the most surprising event or set of events that you have noticed in Bangladesh? And why was it surprising?
Well, thank you so much, Sanjay, and it's an honor and a privilege to be in conversation with you. Um, Bangladesh, of course, is not stranger to political turmoil, and it has a particular trajectory in which political turmoil has a tendency to break out in Bangladesh after a certain period of pause. If we look back the last 50 or 55 years in the history of the region, or even go back in time to 1947. But what was most dramatic this time was actually the fact that Sheikh Hasina, who was known as the leader of the Awam, she was the leader of Awami League. Um, she was known as a street fighter, and she had a reputation for empathy and etc. Uh, the fall of her government was understandable. Governments fall in Bangladesh, but then the way she fled the country, I think
Mm,
that was dramatic because had it displayed that she had little understanding about the timing of her own politics because perhaps
mm,
she had uh, in a way got her senses had perhaps got blunted because she didn't understand when to really retire from the trajectory that she was in. She was continuously at the helms of affairs for nearly 15 years. And I think, it was really too much for her. And by the time she started talking about children of Razakar, that is all the protesters who are on the streets of Dhaka and other cities were actually children of traitors. That was, I think, the turning point, and she should have resigned before that. And yet she went on with the crackdown after that, and that really paved the way for sort of a point of no return. And Hasina had a reputation. She was people's leader. If you look at the two leaders that Bangladesh has witnessed in the last half century, that is Khalida Zia and Sheikh Hasina. Hasina was the street fighter. She
mm,
was the person who used to hit the streets first. And whether I've been talking about it because she displayed that element of empathy in her character repeatedly, be it in 1981 when General Ziaur Rahman was assassinated in Chittagong, when she left her home in the middle of the night and she wanted to reach Chittagong to see what was happening to General Ziaur Rahman, or in 1991 when the cyclone hit, even before the relief services had reached the southern part of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina had reached there, and she was standing in the middle of this devastation and water and all sorts of mud,
wow.
and she was there. So for this sort of a leader to have a fall so complete, in which she had no option but to leave her own country and her own followers, who actually wanted her to stay on and fight. Because I think that also busted a lot of myth about the leadership that
Uh,
she represented. She represented a legacy of Sheikh Mujib and Tajuddin Ahmed and Nazrul Islam and many others of her party. And the whole tradition of Bangladesh was shaped by Awami League. If I'm not, I'm trying to simplify it a little bit. But then Awami League was the party of liberation in 1971, and that's undisputed fact. And today, Awami League is nowhere because of the simple fact that it was not just her government was uprooted, but also she had to flee the scene. So I think that when she fled the scene, that was, I think, unforgettable because it proved that it was basically not just a regime change, but perhaps even it's a sort of a threat to the state itself. And it was a complete washout. So yeah, I think that was the most dramatic thing, in terms of visuals and the political significance of that particular, escape. Yeah, I think that was the most important, yeah, surprising thing.